Welcome everyone to Unpack Digital with Memjet. We are going to watch the magic unfold here in a moment. This is a unique event. We have people from all over the world joining us, and I want to say good day to you, whatever time zone you're in, what time of day it is for you. Here's something that will kind of connect us. Go to the chat and type in, what city, what country you're from, and it'll be kind of interesting for us to all see that, just to see where everyone's coming in from. And also that chat box, that's going to be available, of course, through the entire event. So if you have questions, type in questions that you have there, and then if we have time, we'll try to answer those at the end of the event. So this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to try to change this up. We like to think of ourselves as awesomely creative at Memjet. So I want to try something here with you, and you got to go with me on this, okay? So everyone do what I'm doing here, and it will mutually connect us, okay? So what I want everyone to do is put out your hands like this, okay? If you're not doing it at home, you're not gonna get it, okay? Very good. Now watch close. You're gonna do exactly as I do. You're gonna go thumbs down. You're gonna rotate them inside like that. Then you're gonna put one hand over the other hand like this, and we're gonna interlock our fingers like so and straighten the elbows. Lock out the elbows. You're gonna feel a stretch up here, but we won't be there for long. Do exactly as I do. Breathe in, breathe out. Do exactly as I do. Do this up to the top. Now I know a lot of you out there are going to be stuck, and a lot of people are stuck thinking about digital and Inkjet in certain ways. And I think we're going to reveal some interesting ideas and help straighten everyone out. All right. So what we're going to do is we talked about to show you some magic. Let's watch the magic unfold. I am a magician. My name is Anders Boulanger, and I'm going to be your host and MC for this time that we spend together. And I'm going to be doing something kind of neat. I'm going to call upon one of our special guest speakers. Elizabeth, are you there?
Hey, Anders.
Hey, thanks for helping me with this. We're going to hear from Elizabeth in just a second, in a few moments, I should say. But Elizabeth, in the meantime, can you just name one of these cards? Now, before I do this, we didn't prearrange this, did we? You just knew you were going to help. That's all you knew.
True.
Fair?
Okay. I knew to turn on my video.
Okay, good. All right. So Elizabeth, what I want you to do is I want you to name one of the cards that you see that you'd like me to use.
The Joker.
The Joker. All right. I'm going to pull out the Joker, and what I'm going to do, Elizabeth, is I'm going to write on this Joker some sort of basic shape or drawing. I want to be, it's kind of like we're printing on it, but I'm just using a Sharpie. I'm not, as sophisticated as what we're going to be talking about here on labeling and packaging and what have you. So Elizabeth, give me a shape that I can draw on there.
Triangle.
Triangle, okay. Oh, that's easy.
Keep it easy for you. It's early.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And then I'm gonna write Memjet on the bottom. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this card, and I'm gonna switch to my overhead camera here, okay? And I'm going to come on over here, and you're going to be able to see that Memjet card. We're going to put that into the deck of cards, and I'm going to try to find it in a very, very unique way. All right. So we're going to put that card into the center of the deck. We're going to shuffle them up like so, and watch what we're going to do. We're going to try to do something. Well, I'm going to try to do some printing of my own. Is basically what I'm going to try to do. Okay. So we're going to kind of weave the cards in like so. And we're going to see if we can print using the deck. Watch. Now you can see there's some pretty good resolution there, some real works of art that we're creating.
No banding, no artifacts.
We're trying to put a frame around today's event. Check this out. There's your card, just like so. Thanks for helping with that, Elizabeth. If you're watching from home and you like that, type something in the chat what you thought about that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the GM of Commercial Press, coming to us all the way from Marietta, Georgia. Please welcome to the event, Eric Owen. Eric?
Hi, thanks, Anders. And let me add my welcome to everybody that's joining. We have more than 150 people, I think, that are signed up for this session. Let me start off by introducing my team. Anders already introduced me. I am the head of our commercial press division. We are the group of people that look after the folks that make industrial and commercial and production inkjet equipment around the world. We are and have been engaged for a couple of years since the release of our most recent technology, something called DuraLink. We've been working hard to engage with the OEM community out there, a number of whom have got products built and out in the marketplace with our technology, and a strong number of whom were planning on releasing some technology this week at Drupa, but they will be doing that instead at other events throughout the rest of this year, and certainly some will be at next year's Drupa. So you're going to be seeing, if you haven't already, a lot of technology out there that's based around Memjet DuraLink. And this team of mine are the folks that look after those relationships. One of the things that we pride ourselves on at Memjet is being awesomely creative. And to that end, I want to run a short little clip.
Well, it's been over 105 days now since I've last been on a plane. And now with Drupa postponed, when will this end? Wow, it came! Let's go open it. Wow, isn't this great? Just came in. I hope it's everything we asked for. Let's take a look. Wow, awesome! Just as promised. Tastes like Drupa. Enjoy the show.
And I've got my beer too. I hope that we can see you all at Drupa in April and share a beer together in person. We really are missing our time together in Dusseldorf. We always enjoy being there. I've been going to that show for a very long time. I'm sure many of you have as well. For those of you that don't know Memjet, I want to run a short little overview video of our company.
At Memjet, we focus on being print engine experts and allow our OEMs the freedom to be the printer solutions experts. The process of managing the printhead to get optimal performance is quite complex. We take all of those issues away by encompassing our technology in a module that is easy to integrate into their end solution. They simply need to place our technology over the print surface, tell us how fast it's moving, and we take care of everything else. What is going to drive printing in the future is being able to react very quickly to the changes in market to allow you to get in and capture that market early. And to do that, you need a reliable print platform that you can implement very quickly and rapidly to meet market changes. The speed and resolution and price point of our solutions offers our OEMs the opportunity to move into markets that they would not normally have access to.
So Memjet is really a world-class inkjet technology company. For those that don't know much about us, we've been around for actually quite a long time, more than 15 or 16 years. But we've mostly been recognized for products that are more in the desktop, tabletop, and very light production environments. Memjet has not had a very big footprint in the general commercial, industrial production inkjet space, based largely on the fact that the technologies that we've had in our portfolio for all of these years have not really had the features or characteristics that are really suitable for high volume, high production inkjet. All of that's now changed since we brought DuraLink into the marketplace. And that's what's allowed us to get the penetration that we've had and maintain the interest in the community around our technology that has been so strong. And the host of products that are already out and those that you'll be seeing span a range of applications from all the packaging spaces to commercial and transactional, even direct to shape and some things like that. We'll talk about that more as we go forward. One of the ways that we like people to think about us is that our technology is beautifully precise. And what we mean by that is we really focus on generating the highest quality, highest resolution, and simplest, most elegant and affordable implementation of inkjet technology that we feel exists in the OEM community. With that, I'm gonna turn it over to Anders. Anders, are you there?
I think we may have lost our MC.
Well, then Elizabeth is joining us today from Inkjet Insight, and she is going to take us through some of her perspectives around the trends in inkjet buying today. So over to you, Elizabeth.
Thanks so much for the introduction, Eric. Appreciate it. So as Eric mentioned, I'm here today to talk a bit about how trends have changed in terms of investing in inkjet. And it used to be that even, I don't know, 10 years ago or so, you would hear people talking about the fact that, you know, potentially you were not big enough for inkjet. And, you know, it's always sad to hear that. So 5 or 10 years ago, you needed 10 million impressions, and then it got down to maybe 5 million impressions a month. And that's when almost all the options were web fed. Now there are entry-level web devices, web to sheet, many different sheet fed formats, and even great hybrid options to add to an existing analog environment. So the volume threshold these days could be 2 million or even less than that, depending on the value of what you're printing. And again, you really need to think about the value. You don't want inkjet to be driving you to the bottom in terms of cost. You don't want to undersell the value of turn time and customization and personalization when considering the price of print for the new work that you'll do. So if you sell high value print, you don't need to be very big to justify the investment in inkjet. But the other irony is that in some cases, people are told that they were too big for inkjet, right? So as inkjet is moving into new application segments and Memjet's moving along with them, sometimes it's places where everyone said the run lengths were too long and it doesn't make sense. But guess what? Run lengths are getting shorter, and there are new kinds of work in labels, packaging, commercial print that they're a great fit for inkjet if you have the right device to meet your specific needs, for sure. So what you really want to keep in mind is that at the end of the day, it really is about you. It's not what someone else uses inkjet for. It's about your mix of work, the other equipment in your shop. It's not necessarily a replacement. It can be a complement to the other devices you have. You need to think about whether you have peak volume, stable runs, 1 shift or 3. Everybody's different. So companies with different levels of volume and different application sets can still be justifying inkjet. If you're risk averse, you really need to make sure that you understand what's going on with inkjet as well, so that you can think about the right device that's really going to fit your needs and not just looking at what your competitors may have purchased. So think about the fact that devices are running faster, but in terms of speed, you also need to really look at the productivity, right? This means how much it produces per minute, but also how much time the device is expected to be up and running. Fast machines that are down for maintenance a lot are not really productive. And also higher resolution is great, but that means more heads. So how often will they need to be replaced? Is there automatic jet out correction? Different OEMs, even those who work with Memjet, may take different paths to quality with different combinations of resolution, drop sizes, number of drops, how they control the drops, screening software, et cetera, and looking at whether additional fluids are needed or whether the ink itself is allowing the compatibility with the substrate. But also think about the fact that to control costs, you need the ability to limit ink and to have the trade-off between limiting the ink and achieving the quality level that you need for your business. And really, ink limiting is kind of an art form, so you'll need to plan around that and the software support in executing the plan. So understanding how ink channels are managed when not in use is also important. And how easy are the operator controls? Can you control labor costs by having a streamlined user interface? And then you need to think about the actual capital expenditure itself, the financing models, click charges, they all make a difference. One notable Memjet partner is currently offering a program, it's a Delphax Solutions, For anyone who produces more than 12 million letter images per year, not per month, they can have access to a limited number of the devices at no upfront cost and just pay for the consumables and service as well. I think that may only apply in the US and Canada, but it's still an interesting program. So again, you know, other than getting in the general price category, don't bother talking price with OEMs until you know the device can do what you need when you need it. It's really easy to get distracted by what looks like a good deal and miss out on the big picture on quality, flexibility, and running costs. Ideally, you want the CapEx as low as possible because that reduces your risk. But if you're looking at devices that fit within your general volume and profile, the lowest cost device is not always the most efficient when you factor in all the facets of true running costs and how well you can automate the process to reduce labor costs as well. So at the end of the day, math may be considered, you know, mental abuse to humans, but you have to do the math. You really need to do your homework on your current work and look at where the opportunities are to do it more efficiently. Look at opportunities to improve service and offer new options. Remember that you're buying the device, the salesperson doesn't come with it. So the relationship is really important, but you need to be guided by the facts and the math, and be a smart buyer. Don't get sold, be a buyer. Buckle down, gather the data you need, work with your team on process improvements, see what you can accomplish with Inkjet, and then look at the products that can help you get there. Suck it up, do the math so you're getting a true comparison of the costs and really getting an understanding of the cost and the benefits of your investment. So that's my key message for you today, but there's really never been a better time to dip your toes into the Inkjet pool. I hope to have the opportunity to help some of you with your decisions. We track a lot of information on Inkjet Insight regarding all of the devices that are out there for you to invest in, whether that be sheet fed, web fed, packaging, industrial, etc. We provide a lot of tools for the evaluation process and also to help you evaluate and grow your business with Inkjet. So thanks for listening. Come visit me on inkjetinsight.com and enjoy the rest of the session.
Hey, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Here's what I'd like to show you. What you were giving us great criteria to kind of evaluate. And if you could, yeah, close that. If you could close that, perfect. Stop your share. I'm going to just show this. This made me think. You kind of inspired me, Elizabeth, about, you know, operational effectiveness in terms of getting all we can out of what we've got. So watch these ones. Watch this. Here we go. And this is what it's about at the end of the day, is making the right decisions for your company, right? That's going to create that. So we're going to move along with another special guest. We have a principal analyst from NAPCO Research, and she conducts research regarding emerging trends in the packaging and commercial industries. And here to share some hot off the press news. In fact, not even hot off the press. You're the first to hear it here. I'd like to welcome to the program Lisa Cross. Lisa, take it away.
Trying to get my screen to share, sorry. It's one of those mornings and it's not doing it. Wow. I don't, just give me a second because you can't see my screen and I don't know why.
That's all right. Lisa, you keep doing that.
Let me just, and I would really wish if you could send me some of that money my way, Andrew.
Actually,
nice. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to close out and reshare because it's giving me the share. There you go. You can see it now, right? All right. Awesome. Well, hello, everyone. As Andrew said, I'm Lisa Cross, and I'm the principal analyst at NAPCO Research. And I am so excited to be here with you today and to be participating in this event because we've got some hot off the press research that I'm going to talk to you about today. And I'm happy to have that opportunity to talk to you about this research effort that NAPCO Research and Memjet are working on together. The project is titled Inkjet Printing, Lowering Entry Barriers in Digital Package Printing. Before I talk about the actual study, I just want to tell you a little bit about who we are, because you may not know, and because there are a few things about our organization I think you should know that validates this project and what I'm going to share with you today. So we're NAPCO Research, and we're part of NAPCO Media. We're the publisher of many venerable publications serving the printing industry, including printing impressions, packaging impressions, wide format impressions, and implant impressions. And we have publications in other industries that purchase print and packaging. The reason I mention our print publications is because they've been around for a really long time, and we have highly engaged audiences that read our publications that we can access for our research studies, which is what we did for our study with Memjet. So the topic of this research study, it's on digital package printing, and this is a really exciting area. There are a lot of forces that we're seeing come together to expand the use of digital package printing across application areas and industry segments. Technology innovations and brand owner demands together are expanding the use of digital printing for label and packaging application, and expanding those printing companies that are able to offer packaging today. Digital printing is offering many transformational benefits to the packaging market, and we see a lot of this because we do a lot of research in this market. Because digital printing offers affordable, short-run work, brand owners can produce work as needed and when needed, and produce and test multiple versions, accommodate higher numbers of stock keeping units, because today brand owners seem to be extending all of their lines. Just go to a local supermarket and you'll see how dizzying it is and how many versions and varieties there are of simple products like yogurt. Also, digital printing can help reduce the need to store products, because you can print it on demand, which helps reduce product obsolescence and also supports faster time to market, which is key for brand owners. What's really going to push though and extend this transformation or these transformational benefits is Inkjet. It offers high resolution, higher speeds, reduced costs, all the things brand owners care deeply about, and things that printing providers care deeply about as well. Inkjet is transforming many printing markets, and it certainly is poised and is transforming packaging and helping to lower entry barriers. And that's what we wanted to capture in this research. And from this research, we are creating 3 reports. And the first one is what I'm going to talk to you about today. And the first one is titled Digital Package Printing Primed for Mainstream. This is our first report. And the findings of this report are based on a survey that went to the readers from packaging impressions, implant impressions, and printing impressions. And the topics in this report cover many areas, from customer demands driving the use of digital printing, the benefits and obstacles of digital printing, what's driving digital investment in digital presses for packaging, and how Inkjet is influencing adoption. Now, this report will be available at the end of July, and I'm told that if you complete the survey at the end of this event, you will be sent a copy of this report. So I encourage you to fill out that survey, because I think this will be a must-read report, but I'm a little biased in that regard. So let me share some of those high-level findings from our study. So I'm going to start with some survey demographics, just so you can see who took the study. I like to start with this, so who took our study, and knowing who took our study helps add insight into what some of our findings were. So we got close to 250 respondents that print labels and packaging on digital presses. We asked them what was their primary business, so they had to select one. They could only choose one. Commercial printers were about half of the respondent base. A quarter were implant operations that printed labels and packaging, and the balance was package printers, converters, and digital print specialists. In terms of the packaging applications respondents offered, nearly all respondents offered labels. Some of the other applications they offered were tags, corrugated packaging and displays, folding cartons, flexible packaging, and shrink sleeves. One of the key findings from the research was that survey respondents said that digital printing is lowering entry barriers to offering packaging. Almost 60% of our respondent base, and these are people that are printing labels and packaging on digital presses, believe that digital printing is lowering the entry barriers to offering packaging. There are many factors lowering entry barriers today, and some of them are listed on this slide in the right column. You might know a lot of these benefits already, but digital printing offers a lower investment cost than analog presses. It's a more automated process. There's less processes involved because you don't need to make plates. So more automation, less processes equal less people, equal less cost. There's more entry-level devices coming onto the market. A lot of the devices today are less, with Inkjet anyway, are a lot less complicated printers. There's ongoing technology investment. For example, low-cost, high-res, high-speed inkjet heads are creating a new breed of printing solution. For example, low-cost, single-pass packaging solutions for corrugated, folding carton, and flexible materials, and other things lowering entry barriers or the availability of more substrates and finishing devices. So entry barriers are coming down. And another thing that respondents told us that is key is that inkjet innovations are enabling more expansion of their product lines into packaging. Over half of our respondents, 54%, said they already print packaging applications on digital inkjet presses, and some of those key benefits they said they were finding in doing so, included the ability, to print, variable data, images, and text, the ability to offer high quality, ease of use, faster print speed, low capital cost, lower total cost of ownership, all things that, are benefits to a print provider. And these respondents, most of them were printing packaging, printing their inkjet. The packaging they were printing on inkjet devices was mostly labels, but we think that respondents, that's going to expand. I mean, some of our respondents were printing folding cartons and corrugated and flexible packaging on inkjet devices, just not as much as labels. We expect that all types of packaging is going to increase on inkjet. There's more technology options becoming available. Digital adoption continues, and brand owners themselves, when you think about a brand owner's job, they have to keep coming up with new concepts and ideas. The packaging is just such a huge part, of the marketing of a product. Everybody from a large consumer product company to a small craft artisan brand, they're always looking for ways to better, market their product and help it, stand out from the competition. And Inkjet offers a lot of benefits in that regard. And also, more providers are looking to expand into adjacent market today, which Inkjet supports. And labels and packaging is a very attractive market to printers that currently aren't in the packaging market, because a lot of people have seen, volumes decline because some of their print work can be digitized. You can't digitize a package. Anyway, that's all I can share with you today. If you want to find out more, you will have to read this report, which will be available next month. So thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more research reports from NAPCO Research and Memjet.
Thank you, Lisa. Excellent. Thank you for teasing us with that. And what's going to happen here, Lisa? We're going to do something. You talked about lowering the barrier to entry. I want to show you something here that is going to be about crossing barriers. I'm going to take two elastics, two rubber bands, these yellow rubber bands, and I'm going to get real close to the camera so you can see this, but you can see that they obviously are linked. I cannot pull my hands apart without the rubber bands flying off my fingers or snapping the rubber bands. Yes? Okay. Now watch. All I'm going to do is just going to rub them. You talked about lowering the barrier to entry. Let's just actually cross through that barrier, just like so. Kind of fun. I wish you were here live because I'd have you handle them, inspect them. It's all good. You know what? We are going to keep things moving. We're going to take a closer look at the DuraLink solution. So, and right after this, we're going to have Eric Owen join us once again. Before we do the video too, if you do have questions, I see people putting questions in. Keep throwing questions into the chat box and we'll get to answer those. So please enjoy this short video.
With DuraLink, commercial, packaging, and industrial print OEMs and print providers can enter new markets and address new applications, allowing them to realize new revenue streams and increased profitability. It starts with a durable, pigment-based ink print system. featuring a new, longer life printhead with a unique modular printhead maintenance system. With 5 times nozzle redundancy, DuraLink delivers offset-like print quality at resolutions up to 1600 by 1585 dpi. How fast is fast? DuraLink technology features speeds up to 203 meters per minute. When it comes to fast, flexible, affordable, high-quality printing, DuraLink sets a new standard.
So we've talked a lot about DuraLink in the first part of this session. And I wanted to say that there's more than DuraLink to Memjet. DuraLink is very important to the audience that we're talking to, the commercial print end user. But we actually have a range of technologies, a family of technologies that include our long-standing VersaPass, been in the market for quite a long time and is installed in more than 13 or 14,000 devices around the world. Again, mostly in that tabletop, desktop, light production category. But we also have another technology other than DuraLink that's called DuraFlex, which is in the late stages of its development and is working through a number of OEM partners that are building tabletop and light production kind of equipment that very well could be entry-level equipment for people like you, folks like you. Something that's not hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, but products that are tens of thousands of dollars, maybe, you know, up to 100 or thereabouts. So there are a lot of partners that we've got that are using that technology. You'll see some of their names coming up in a minute. But on DuraLink, a couple of things that I would want to highlight from the video. I think one of the things that people are pleased the most with is our built-in redundancy. Anybody that's worked in an inkjet printing environment can become frustrated by misdirected nozzles or a nozzle that quits printing and creates a missing area in the page or a streak or whatever you've referred to it as in the past. With our technology, we have 5 rows of nozzles that print each line of print in the printing direction. So if one of those 5 nozzles were not able to fire for whatever reason, there are 4 other nozzles in that same line that are capable of picking up the printing. I think that's very important. It was one of the things that was very necessary for us to be able to get into commercial print was to be able to create some form of redundancy so that people had consistent quality across a long period of uptime. And that was a very key focus for us in the development of DuraLink. But bringing DuraLink into the market has allowed us to address a number of market segments that we really weren't heavily represented in up to this point. And when I say not represented, I don't mean not participating at all, but not participating in the true commercial production print, high volume inkjet space. And now I'm pleased to say that across this entire range of markets, we have representation of existing OEMs that have built or are building products to service these markets with DuraLink, and quite a number of others, as I mentioned earlier, that will be making announcements in lieu of Drupa at other events in the balance of this year, or certainly into next year and next year's Drupa. But some of these markets are quite significant. And I appreciated in Lisa's presentation, her talking about packaging. Packaging for Memjet, and I suspect many of the other inkjet technology providers that are out there, but packaging for us represents almost 60% of all of the engagements that we have around the world. So it is absolutely the #1 interest of the OEM community in building products that service the packaging space, which we consider to include labels, flexible, corrugated, folding carton, and perhaps even the direct-to-shape categories. We have a partner working on a direct-to-shape project, but they're not public yet, but you will be seeing them later in the year or next year with that technology. And of course, the commercial print space where inkjet has existed for a long time. We now have the ability with our OEM partners to support them expanding into genuine production print, high volume, high coverage kind of devices. And we've got quite a few of those underway as well. So I've mentioned our partners. a few times. This is a graphic of the logos of the partners that we're currently engaged with across all of our technologies. If you go to our website, you'll see there on the left, the red circle around the partners button. That will bring up that partner page, and then you can click on any of the partners there and learn about the products that they're building or have built, and get some basic contact information for them. And then on DuraLink itself, we have a number of OEM partners already. We wanted to feature a few of those here today, and we'll go to that slide. There we go. So there's a few of them that have already built products that they have out in the marketplace. We don't have the contact information on here, but we will get that on there so that you have the ability to reach out to them and learn more about those particular products. But I think in conclusion to my remarks, what I would want to say is that while Memjet is certainly interested in being as successful as we know will be in the production inkjet space, it's important that inkjet in general continues its climb to be the preferred technology to replace the traditional print methods as we go forward in time. So inkjet is important. Please support inkjet from whoever it is, but certainly keep your eye out for products that are built with Memjet DuraLink. I think you'll be very pleased with the solutions that people have built, and certainly with the print quality and uptime that you can expect from Memjet. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Anders to manage the Q&A of whatever questions we've gathered.
All right. Thank you very much. I do want to share one other thing, and apologies for the OEM slide. We can pull that up too to have the right contact information. Had a lot of versions of our slides. I do want to share one quick thing here, guys, and that is this kind of a mind reading kind of piece here. And I want to show you, see if we can actually read everyone's mind. And it's going to be kind of an interesting thing to do where everyone's everywhere. So if we could do this right now, everyone look at your screen there, the sharing, you see the 16 different features of DuraLink. And of course, those features are just features if they are not, benefits to you. Once they become, once they can be a benefit to you, they are a benefit. So I want you to now think of, point on your screen, if you like, to any dark blue box. Pick any dark blue box you want. And I want you to then change your mind, and I'm going to give you some options here. So what I want you to do is you're going to now go up or down to the nearest light blue box. Light blue box. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Okay, so you're going up or down to the nearest light blue box. Once you're at a new one, you're going to go either left or right to the nearest blue box. So you're at a new dark blue box from the original one. Okay. Now we're going to not go up or down or left or right. We're going to go on a slant. We're going to go on a diagonal. And this is where you're going to go on a diagonal to the nearest light blue box. Okay, one final last move. And everyone started in different places. And I'm going to see if I can figure out where everyone's at. You're going to go either down or to the right to the nearest dark blue box. Down to the right to the nearest dark blue box. Hopefully everyone's got their finger on that box now. I believe that you are here. Is that right? 1600 dpi. In the chat, make sure that I'm right. See if I was right. 1600 dpi, that's pretty amazing resolution. Can anyone touch that these days, Eric?
No, actually, and it's kind of interesting. The technology that Memjet has was invented 15, 16, 17 years ago. I don't know the exact year, but a long time ago. And when it was invented all those years ago, it was the highest density inkjet technology out there. And when I say density, I mean the ability to pack the nozzles closer and closer together. And that's how we were able to create the world's first native 1600 DPI printhead. So it has 1600 dots per inch, 1600 nozzles per inch across that printhead. Our printheads are page-wide printheads, so they're 8.77 inches wide. And that means that with the 5 rows of redundancy and the 1600 nozzles per inch, that each one of our printheads, if you can believe the number, it's amazing. Each one of our printheads has 70,400 nozzles in each printhead. And no one's ever been able to rival that. The highest resolution technologies that we typically compete with are said to be 1200 DPI. Some of those are only interpolated 1200 DPI from 600 DPI heads, for instance. But it's a good question, Anders, because no one's ever been able to rival that.
You know, I want to make up for that slide. So here, Eric, did you want to speak to this again, to the OEM piece?
Yeah, there we go. So that's the contact information for those particular 4 featured partners, how you'd get a hold of them, and who you would talk to learn more about the products. And that will be in the material that you can have access to after this session is over. So thank you for putting the correct one back up.
You're welcome. Now I have some questions, and I'm not too sure if we might need Lisa or Elizabeth back for this. But what application segments are really growing right now? That would be, who wants to handle that question? Elizabeth?
I'll take a shot, and then I'm sure Lisa may have more that she wants to join in with. But you know, we heard from Eric about some of the things that Memjet is doing in packaging, and also from Lisa on packaging. That's absolutely a growth business. Of course, packaging is it's a broad business, so we could be talking about you know, flexible packaging, folding carton, corrugated, and we're really seeing Inkjet move into all of those areas. Also, in the time of COVID, we've seen a lot of signage applications. Inkjet has been very, very busy on sheet-fed Inkjet with producing signage. And in the typical document space, we kind of see a split between, in the established markets of transaction direct mail, we see companies who are trying to drive into the more entry level, and that's growing for the OEMs. And we're also seeing more entry into the graphic arts end of the market as Inkjet, you know, being able to do 1600 with Memjet, and both in terms of direct devices and also the hybrid attachments to analog is also growing quite a bit. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I think I have a question for Lisa, and it might have been answered in the chat, but maybe she can elaborate. The question was, the studies presented by Lisa, were they conducted in the US only? And if that's the case, Lisa, maybe can you tell me, does that extrapolate to the rest of the world?
Well, it was done in the US only, and I think that there are, you know, are some trends here that you could extrapolate, you know, globally. Not all, but I think there are a few. And I would like to also piggyback onto what Elizabeth said. Packaging, I think, is a huge market, you know, for growth, just in the entry barriers coming down, and what we're seeing in the research study that we have in the field now, and that, you know, the report that we're writing currently to issue at the end of July, that there's just so much going on, and that this technology is enabling things that just weren't possible before. You know, things that brand owners and small companies couldn't do. I mean, markets are emerging, things on Etsy's and small artisan brands that maybe could have been before because people couldn't get a label or a tag or a box, you know, for what they wanted. So I hope I answered your question and more, but yeah, I think that, you know, what you'll see in this finding, even though the survey was done in the US, you know, has value no matter where you're reading the report.
Thank you, Lisa. Eric, I think I've got one for you. The question is, someone's interested in getting more information, but not sure which partner to talk to. How would you respond, and how would you help that person?
Well, probably the easiest way would be to get a hold of one of the folks on my team that was on the initial slide, based on either the application that you're interested in or the geography that you're interested in. We'll make sure that all of their emails are on there, or accessible to you all. But for instance, if you had a packaging question in general, you could reach out to Don. If you are interested in something in Europe or Asia Pacific or China specifically, you can see Arnaud and Bent and Alex, and send some emails to them, and they can help direct you to the party of interest. And in general, anywhere in North America, you could reach out to Scott or Gail, and they would be happy to talk with you about what we've got going on out in the market and direct you to the right people.
Perfect. Thanks, Eric. I think we have another one for This will be probably for Elizabeth, perhaps. If you were evaluating inkjet, for costs, where should one start?
Sure. Well, I guess the first thing is, as I said earlier, is you don't want to just evaluate it for cost. The most important thing that you can do when you're evaluating inkjet is to really be looking at your business overall and how you can streamline and potentially grow the business. So there's opportunities for you to work on producing the types of applications you produce now in more personalized, customized, or cost-effective ways. But Inkjet may also enable you to expand into new businesses. So anytime you're looking at something that's automation, you don't want to just do bad stuff faster. You want to do more things better. So look really carefully at your jobs and the process of the jobs before you look at Inkjet, because you need to provide those requirements to the OEMs so that you can really get a good estimate of what it's going to cost you to bring that in.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Eric, one more question for you. When is DuraLink available? When will DuraLink be available?
DuraLink debuted at the print show in Chicago in 2017, September of 2017. At that moment, we considered the technology to be released. It was released with a sort of a version 1 of the printhead that had a greatly extended printhead life. But we've already transitioned to a version 2 that we announced at the print show last year. So print 19, the last edition of print, that we now have a printhead version that has 4 times the head life of the very extended head life that we created in DuraLink to begin with. So the technology's been out for a couple of years. As I think all of us know in the commercial press space, development cycles can be quite lengthy in building these production devices that are, very significant pieces of equipment in general, but then complicated in terms of how they're going to do in-feed and how they're going to handle what kinds of substrates. Do they need anything for coating purposes? Do you have to dry the coating? Then you have to print. Do you have to have dryers for that? What are your out-feed options, finishing options? All of that has to be sorted through, and that takes quite a long time. But we already have a number of partners, not only the 4 that we featured, but others that have gotten products out into the marketplace already and are actively selling DuraLink-based solutions. So hopefully that answers the question.
Perfect. While I got you here, Eric, there's another question that says, would Dawn or Arnaud be the person to talk to about folding carton applications and substrate?
I would say either. Don is really the gentleman on my team that leads our packaging strategies. So he probably would be the best first person to talk to. But Arnaud manages some of our partnerships that are very specifically focused on folding carton, and certainly would be able to contribute interesting stuff to the conversation. So maybe Don or Arnaud could set up a conference call together with you, and both of them talk about it.
Okay, good. Elizabeth, hopefully you're still around. I got another question for you. There's a question here in the chat that says, from Mark Johnson, and it says, any advice about my sales force? Should I establish a new team or train my current one?
Sure. That's one of the key things is when you're looking at Inkjet is to make sure that you don't leave your sales people behind. You need to make them part of the process. I can't really answer whether you need a new team versus the team you have. That really depends on the composition of your team and how comfortable they are selling new things or making new opportunities part of the overall portfolio. But what you do want to do is make sure that they're fully trained on what Inkjet does and also how it fits within the services that you offer. What is the value to your customers? Not just, hey, it's cheaper or, whatever, then you're just driving, again, the cost down to the bottom. So Salesforce education and customer education is really, really important. And you will need to do an evaluation of whether your team is going to support your new investment or not. So it's a good question.
Awesome. I have another one. I think it's for Eric. Eric, yeah, sure. Are there plans to develop a pigmented ink? And how about white ink?
Yeah. Good questions. When we were sort of surveying the landscape of what it would take for us to get more fully engaged in the commercial print space, we knew that the long-standing dye-based technology that we had in the market would not be sufficient, that people in the commercial print space really required the durability of a pigmented ink. And so we spent quite a number of years working with our ink partner on developing an ink very specifically for DuraLink. And that ink is a significant contributor to the quality and the head life that we were able to achieve with DuraLink technology. So DuraLink is a pigment-based ink system. We do not have from Memjet a dye-based ink for that technology. It is exclusively a pigment-based ink. We have cyan, magenta, yellow, and black for process colors, and we've also announced that we have orange, green, and violet for expanded gamut operations, which is very important to the packaging space. On white ink is difficult to eject from a thermally actuated printhead, which is what our technology is, just because of the way that the ink pigment is made. It's typically a titanium-based pigment, and it does not play well in a thermal system. So today we do not have a white ink option, but we do have people that are building solutions using Memjet DuraLink for CMYK and OGV, but they're using an alternate technology to put down white ink, either with a flexo applicator or using a low-cost competitive piezo printhead to lay down the ink, and using our technology for its high resolution for the actual image printing.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Eric. I think we're going to wrap it up there. I just have a few things that I do want to say before we end. First, there's going to be a survey that pops up every email to you. There'll be a survey available. Please fill it out. Let us know if you found this valuable, if you liked it, if we should do more of this kind of thing. Also, we will see you at Drupa when it happens. We look forward to seeing you there. We will raise a real stein instead of a virtual one with you there. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you to all our speakers, to Eric, Lisa, and Elizabeth. And I hope you guys enjoyed Unpacking Digital here with Memjet. Thanks for watching.